and welcome to this segment of the Get Good at Business Highlight and Spotlight series. I'm your host, Taylor Proctor, your business coach, here to help you get good at business so you can get back into the heart of why you got into business in the first place. And the way that we do that is through the I Move method, which stands for intuition, marketing, operations, velocity, and execution. And I think that it's so important for us as entrepreneurs to get to know and see how other entrepreneurs are running their businesses, whether you've been in business for 2 months or 20 years, right? Everybody is in different spots, but if you can get good at business within the areas of I Move and you can learn from other entrepreneurs in those areas, everything tends to fall into place and business success can be yours. And so today I'm so excited to be joined by Ann Shields. She is an experienced career coach with 35 plus years of coaching experience. She's coached 1,000 clients of all ages and stages, helping them imagine and explore their options, and then partnered with them to design a plan to get from here to there. Many of your clients face major life transitions, including empty nests, relaunching after caregiving, and impending retirement. Her coaching style, though theory-based, draws on storytelling, uses humor, and conveys a deep belief in self-efficacy. She has the PCC credentials of the International Coaching Federation, trains other coaches, and has spoken on more than a dozen conferences. So when we talk about her business, she says she coaches stuck and confused clients to imagine and map the path to their life's next chapter. She draws on that 35 years of career coaching experience and concepts from designing her life. She partners with clients to assess their current values, skills, and interests, which can be considered the puzzle pieces that make us unique. Her clients discover what matters to them. They then reconfigure the pieces, creating a picture of the life they want to design. They work with Ann to co-develop a map to move forward to that best life, and she guides the journey, coaching through the obstacles of self-doubt, fear, and logging motivation. So Ann is amazing, and I'm so excited to have her with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, Ann.
Thank you so much for having me.
Such a great bio, and I'm so excited to dive in and learn more about you and your business. So let's kick it off with obviously 35 years of experience, but what inspired you to dive into career coaching, specifically on the life transition areas like empty nesting and retirement?
Well, I have to tell you, the roots for that go way, way, way back. I was a liberal arts history major and I was lost and confused, as many of us liberal arts majors are. And I had a great career coach who spent some time with me talking about my values and what was important to me and helped me think as much about who I wanted to be as what I wanted to do. And I started a career path in higher education, working with students, and I started running career centers. So the basis for the career stuff is first career, long career. But as I moved up, the job titles got better, the pay got better, and I got more and more miserable because I was getting further and further away from the thing that gave me joy. So I did the thing, Taylor, that every career coach says don't do. I quit without a plan because I was so unhappy. I was miserable, took a year to my sabbatical year, I will say, and remembered what Peggy had done for me and what I had done for so many people early in my career. And so it just seemed one of those, aha, how stupid have I been moments. I need to go back to my roots and start doing for others what Peggy did for me.
I love that. So how long have you been doing, obviously 35 years of the career coaching, but you took the sabbatical and now you're doing it as your own business. How long have you been doing that for?
2.5, 3 years. I've been slowly building different revenue streams just to keep paying the bills. But I'm finally paying all the bills and I'm starting to think about what I might do to scale up. What
I
I've
love
done
that.
has been great, and I've loved it. And now I want it to be more.
What's those next levels? I love that. So let's move into the I Move methodology. And as our listeners and you know, I stands for intuition. So how have you tapped into your intuition to really guide the vision of your business, ensuring that it resonates authentically with your clients who are in those like uncertain life phases?
Well, intuition is knowing what you know without knowing how you know it. And that's always been a strength of mine. Um, I have a very strong gut feelings. My mind, I have ADD, Taylor, so I have like 5 pinballs going in my mind at one time. So I think fast and I think deep, and it's been fun. Um, but I also have spent time being lost and confused,
Mm.
and I know what that feels like. I know that it can be like spinning. I could do this, no, I could do this, no, I could do this, no, 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 no. And Taylor, I've spent my whole adult life listening to people and
Mm.
listening between the lines. And as different as every individual is, we all have hopes and dreams. We all have fears. We all want someone to help us, but not tell us. And that those experiences, just plus my gut, help me know what seems to be right for the business. I also, though, if something's not working, I have no problem with dropping it and trying something else.
Yes, so good. Oh, I think that's a form of intuition in its own right, right? Being able to see something's not working and having the faith and trust of like, cool, we're going to try something else until it
Mhm.
does work. That's usually something led by intuition as well, because a lot of folks can't see that something's not working till it's years down the line.
They
And
just pour more into it and just,
yeah,
mhm.
and I love that too, because I think that that sounds a little bit familiar with what you were just saying as your like origin story is you kind of went with what everybody was saying to do and kept on growing in the more corporate space to then go, wait a minute, this isn't working. I need to come back to my roots.
Mhm. Because if you try to be someone you're not, it's just miserable. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've had that experience, but so many people have felt like that for a long time. And then all the great resignation with COVID, people just saying, this isn't
Wow.
worth it anymore. I'm out of here. This means nothing to me. I'm investing my time and my blood and my energy, and I'm getting nothing I value back.
Yeah, which I love because you said in your bio and even in your story that you go back to the values and
Mhm,
back to the basics to help your clients
mhm.
and to have helped yourself. So good. So
Right.
let's move to the M, which is marketing. So as a career coach to people in transition, like what practical and relatable marketing strategies have you found to be effective to connect and reach your ideal clients?
So Taylor, not unlike many coaches, I went, ew, marketing. And I didn't want to have to sell myself. Um, but I realized now in retrospect, I was selling myself from the first day. One of the things I did for marketing, much of my marketing is person to person.
Mhm.
I use social media sparingly, but I've made connections with people who overlap with what I do. So one of the first things I did was starting to meet cold call, actually, which I never thought I would do, people who do coaching for high schoolers to get into college,
Okay,
because those are the wealthy families that have money to spend on figuring stuff out.
right.
And as the mothers and dads are trying to figure out what their child is going to do, there's that whole, hold on a minute. When they're out of the house, who am I? What am I going to do? And
The empty nester.
particularly for moms who had their own career aspirations and who chose to set them aside to do part or full-time parenting. But it's been years, decades. And
Right.
now they've lost track of who that person was and who they are now.
So really that the marketing has been one-to-one, but also collaborations is what I'm hearing.
I do collaborate. I work with a partner who has a strong college coaching business in Philly. I teach coaching courses, and so I've got a lot of students every every quarter that I spend time with. But I also have people all throughout higher ed because I've been in the business for a long time. I know career coaches, I know admissions people. I do connecting through the Rochester, New York Women's Network. I am now doing more with LinkedIn,
Mhm.
trying to develop a presence because I know, although I'm an introvert and hated the thought of talking with people, I discovered that I really enjoy, surprise, listening to people and hearing their stories and trying to figure out how can I be helpful. And
Mm.
so the scaling needs to be related to keeping that real personal touch and keeping the authenticity of, and I say this to all of my clients, I will have confidence in you when yours drops.
Mm.
I want that to still be warm and real, not just a tagline.
Right. So I think that's a really good segue into the O of iMove, which is your operational support, right? Growing operationally, scaling as one of your goals. What key practices and structures have you put into place to help you maintain that authenticity?
Well, that's a good question. Again, referring back to my ADD, procedures and processes are really not my strong point.
Mm.
I always hired people who could do that. I was the vision person, and I just let somebody else do that. I
Mhm.
have hired a virtual assistant, but I realized that that's not enough. I love my boss, but she's not real organized. So, um, just very simply, and again, I've been able to do this because I've been small. I don't know what I'm going to do as I scale,
Mhm.
but I have this protocol of every time I talk with someone, 3 months, I go to my calendar and 3 months later, I make a note to myself to call them again. And
Nice.
so
Yeah.
I'm staying in touch with my network because the network only works if you're active in it. And so I might say, you were going on a vacation. How did it go? How was your son's high school senior soccer game?
Mhm.
And again, I never thought I would be a networker. Ew. But I'm a curious person.
Mhm.
And so it was a matter of reframing the curiosity to to help me realize that this is what I would do anyway. I'd want to talk to people and learn about them and hear about them and support them. But again, the question, how do I scale that up? So I'm
Right.
not sure what the marketing will be. I don't like to write that much, and so blogs sort of kind of out. Um, I haven't done Facebook video,
Mm.
so that's probably a place I'm going to go. Um,
LinkedIn has some great video options as well.
they do, and I'm just finding really interesting people. When I talked myself down from marketing ew to there's some really neat people doing some really neat stuff. I've found a couple of groups that work with empty nest women, but not in the area that I do.
Yeah.
And so we have some opportunities to collaborate. And I think that's probably going to be the way that I grow the most through some online video of my own and through the collaboration.
I love that. And there's so many gold nuggets in this already. One of the things that I tell my clients when they come to me and they're like, I hate social media. I don't want to be on that, but I feel like I have to. I'm like, nope. There's a million ways to make $1 million. And I
Mhm.
love that you've pointed out you've grown your business out over the last 3 years from one on one connections, networking, and collaborations. I also love that you're gold nugget of you talk to someone, put something in your calendar 3 months later to check back. Like, even that small little thing of organization can make such a big difference in those connections later on down the road, collaborations on down the road, etcetera. So that is incredible.
Well,
I
can I
think
tell you a story?
yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Um, Early in the summer, I heard from somebody who had heard about me from somebody, not even sure who, and we had our first exploratory conversation, and she was interested, but she wasn't sure she was all that had that much time, and she wasn't sure how dedicated she would be with her time.
Mm.
So she said, maybe let's talk at the end of the summer. So I poked her again. I really am still interested, but I've got this other thing going on. Okay, good luck with that. Wrote her at New Year's, Happy New Year's. How did you do on that project that you were so focused on? And today I got a note saying, it went fantastic. Sorry I've disappeared for so long, but now I'm ready.
Boom. All
So
about the follow-up.
all with a follow-up, and it wasn't selling. It was, she was studying for a foreign language exam, proficiency exam at a high level. How's that going? Why that language? Good luck with that. But what do they say? 7 touches before someone will really look at you or buy something?
Oh, so those numbers have shifted a lot in the last couple of years. It used to be 7 to 9 about 10 years ago. Then it jumped to 10 to 14. And then it jumped now in our age of video marketing and so much happening online.
Mhm.
It's jumped to about 23 to 27 touch points before someone can actually be interested in buying from you. But I
Oh,
think that you've probably jumped that line because of your one-on-one connections. That is usually a statistic utilized when someone is talking about seeing you from start to finish, billboards, ads, content, emails, etc. And you, I think, have jumped that where it's like, hey, minimum on social media, but we're having those one-on-one connections, true conversations, true authentic relationship building. Then it is 7 to 9 touch points.
mhm. And I have a pretty strong conversion from my exploratory calls, probably 85%.
Wonderful.
And those people, when they're done, they refer people to me. But I don't sell. I listen
Yeah.
and go with, if we were to work together, then here are some things we might do. Period. And then it's back in their lap. I probably breaks every rule, Taylor, but it
That's
works
the
for
thing.
me.
There are no rules in business. As long as you're morally, ethically, and legally aligned with what you believe, then the world is our oyster, right? We can figure out what works for us. And I love that too, because what I hear when someone says they have an 80 to 85% close rate on their discovery calls is that you have been marketing and targeting the correct audience to come into those discovery calls.
Yeah, but I don't do marketing.
Right. That networking, those connections, those collaborations, right?
Mhm.
Marketing can be such a broad blanket term for all of that. I love that. So let's talk about the V in iMove, which is velocity, which is essentially your growth strategies for like effective sustainability. So what strategies or tactics have you found to be most effective in sustaining the growth of your business over the last couple of years?
Well, it's only been a couple of years, so I'm honestly, I'm just sort of gearing up. At the beginning, I was more dabbling. What might work? I started working with young adults because that's what I knew.
Mhm.
Um, and then I realized again, and I realized this when I was working on a campus, I really want to work with people who have more life experience, who have a better sense of who they want to be,
Yeah.
rather than I need to be someone that my parents will be proud of, or I need to have a career that my friends will go, ooh. But the velocity, I'm not really sure. To be honest, I'm become much more particular in how I spend my time. There's a note up on my whiteboard that says, is the best use of your time right now? Is it going to make you money? And I need that in front of me
Yeah.
because I get, oh, shiny. Or someone will say, hey, do you want to work on this with me? Yeah, it sounds like fun. But it's completely, does sound like fun, but it's completely irrelevant to what I'm trying to do. And so I have to keep refocusing to what's going to make me money. And I never thought I would be like that, but I kind of like it. It
Yeah.
really helps to have a focus. Bless you.
Thank you. It was one of those where I was like, I don't know if I'm going to sneeze or not. Um, okay. I think that's so incredible because what I am hearing at least is, and I love your candidness. Like I love how honest you are about this because I ask this question to a lot of entrepreneurs and they'll give me strategies, which is perfect. But I love that your strategy has been hone in and focus. That is how you get velocity in your business in the simplest way. Keep yourself from being distracted by the shiny objects, which so many new business owners fall into that trap, and instead focus on back to your values, back to your beliefs, what's going to make you money, what's going to get you to
Mhm.
have those conversations, to listen to those people and to get those clients and really pay the bills. So I think that's, oh, I just want to give you like an applause for that because that is the
Thank
best
you.
response I've had to that question.
Thank you. I mean, I really feel like I'm getting my traction
Yeah,
now, and I'm not going to change who I am. I have a bit of a potty mouth, and I let potential clients know that. And if it's going to be a problem, I will do my best, but something might slip out.
right.
I'm just as honest as I can be and ask them to be exactly the same. And I don't know about the rest of the velocity, but it can't be just more of the exact same. I've
Right.
got to figure out a way to create a multiplier effect.
Absolutely. The what got you here won't get you there.
Right.
That's part of business ownership is growing to those next levels for sure. So I think I know the answer to this, but as we move to our E in I move, which is the execution. So what major initiative or project are you focusing on? Are you executing on for the forthcoming quarter to really accelerate your business?
Um, well, I actually have two things going on. One related to one of my other income streams, my teaching. I'm putting together a coaching class for people, for career coaches who work with people in transition.
Okay.
So try to spread the word out. Um, but I also am using the material from Designing Your Life. A couple of faculty members at Stanford. It's been one of the hottest career books. But I'm putting together some small groups, kind of book study groups to help people walk through the book. A lot of people buy books, self-help books, and they're like, oh, this looks good. That's a lot of work. I'm going to put it aside and come back to it later, and then don't. But but as you know, a six-part small group coaching to work through the book and get people started. Then perhaps they'll want to do some one-on-one or not.
Mhm.
But for the people that I have been working one-on-one with, there will be a similar group, but it's an accountability group. Now that you have these ideas, now you have your map, you have your compass to who you want to be. This is the group that you check in with so that you do actually keep following.
Yeah.
So small group coaching, I think it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Again, as an introvert, I'm surprised at how much I actually enjoy the interaction of people who are sharing an adventure like this. So that's it. It's not flashy.
Here's the thing though, I love that because not all business is big boom bang flashes. It is getting in, doing the work. And you've said several times, right? You're looking to scale, and then to say, hey, you're executing on group coaching programs. That's a way to scale. And
Mhm.
it supports your clients, it supports you, it supports your goals. I think that's so beautiful.
Well, thanks. I think eventually I'll do some online learning, but I'm not, again, it's one of those, how do I develop a variation on this theme? So there's still the connectedness,
Yeah.
some of it asynchronous, I suppose, but I still want to have the person to person contact.
Yeah. Well, I love that. And I think you have such an amazing business model, and I want our listeners, our viewers to be able to know how to learn more about you. I'm sure we've all at some point met someone who's been in a career transitionary type of phase, who could benefit from working with you from upcoming courses, maybe upcoming educational platforms. So, where can our audience learn more and find out more about you?
Well, I've just rebranded. My website is lighthouselifedesign.com, and people can reach me at Anne at lighthouselifedesign.com. Sorry, it's so new.
No, all good. I love it, love it. And then I think we have your old website in our description
Mhm.
as well. So they should be able to go from there to
There's
find
a
you on your
there's
new
a
website.
redirect. And if anybody's interested to find out about starting with the values, I'd be happy to send them a values exercise, no sale along with it. just a, here's the tool, here's how you might use it. And if you feel like it, let me know how it worked for you. And I won't even put them on a mailing list. How is that for anti-marketing?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And thank you so much for spending time with us today. Thank you so much for being so candid, so raw, so real about sharing your journey, where you're at and where you're going with your business. I know that all of our listeners, I know I've taken away some great gold nuggets. I have several clients that I work with in the back of my mind that I'm like, and I'm going to be sending them this interview because I think it can provide them a lot of support. So I just want to say thank you so much. And I really appreciate your time here today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
So if you are watching this and you're like very intrigued by the I move method and how you are utilizing it or could be utilizing it in your business, I want to invite you to check out the Get Good at Business monthly mastermind. Is a month-to-month mastermind where we dive into and do trainings on the areas of I move. We have hot seat Q&A so you can get real-time help and real-time implementation to your questions, comments, and concerns, as well as we have weekly networking and co-working sessions to help our ADHD business friends stay on track with body doubling and things like that. So if you are interested in learning more about the I Move method, check out the Get Good at Business monthly mastermind. It is $27 to get your feet wet in the first month and only $97 a month after that. So that link will also be in the comments and descriptions, and we hope to see you there. That said, thank you again for tuning in today. We will have more incredible Get Good at Business spotlights coming up in the future, so make sure you stay tuned. And in the meantime, keep on going and remember that you can get good at business.